guys, welcome back. This is part 4 of my deck collection series of videos. Today I am going to show you guys my Lenormand decks, my Oracle decks, my Sibillas and runes and rune cards and all that good stuff. So let's jump right in. These are my 3 Lenormand decks right here. First up we have the Dondorf Lenormand. This is from about 1887. And here's the mountain, the stars. Isn't it a beautiful old deck? Absolutely gorgeous. It's a decent size too, not too big, not too small. There's the bear. But this particular deck is the deck that comes with a book called Easy Lenormand by Marcus Katz and Tally Goodwin. Not a bad book either. The mice. I'm just going to show you guys a few cards from each, so we're not here all night. Next up is my copy of the Mystic Cards of Fortune. This is a Lenormand deck from Berlin from about 1854. And I actually printed this myself at makeplayingcards.com. I took the old images and just had them printed up on like bridge size cards there and picked up the backings. There's the heart. Very simple deck. Super, super simple. I enjoy that. And it doesn't have like a picture of the playing card. It has just the number and a picture of the suit. That's the cross, the ship. I also printed up 2 extra male and female cards, or gentleman and lady cards. So, you know, when I do readings for myself or for my wife, you know, my wife's not a dude, so it's nice to have 2 lady cards. Next up is a deck. I apologize, I have no idea how to actually pronounce this. The Licuc Lenormand. I literally have absolutely no idea. I know it's the woman who made it is from Colombia, so somebody who speaks Spanish out there could maybe tell me how to pronounce it. This deck I got on GameCrafter though, and this is the mini version of it. Oh my god, how great are they? I also got the version that has no titles on it. That was the clover. It's the mice. They're teensy tiny, and I love that. Fish, and they have a full little picture of the playing card down at the bottom. This is actually a, how many cards? I think there's about 45 cards that come in this deck. You get 2 versions of the child card, you get an extra gentleman and lady card, and you also get, yeah, right, what's that, a cat in your Lenormand deck? You get these 4, the cat, the owl, oh, womp womp. Do over. You get the cat, the owl, the teapot, and the dragonfly. So she has 4 extra cards. She gives you the meanings for all these extra cards, and they work. They are really quite fun. A few more cards. Beautiful. They have this. That was probably dark. They have this Victorian aged vintagey feel to it. It's a great deck. Very beautiful. So I'm actually going to jump around a little bit here for a second. I want to show you guys this deck next because it can also be used as a Lenormand deck. This is the Hermes Playing Card Oracle from Robert M. Place. This is one of the latest additions to my collection. So it can be read as a regular 52 card playing card deck, Oracle deck. It is actually a 54 card deck, comes with 2 jokers also. But the really cool thing is what he did is if you remove the 2s through the 5s, you will end up with a Lenormand deck. The images that he chose to put on those cards correspond to the Lenormand images. Just like that one, that's the tower. Hello. And then even if it's a court card like this guy is, it's the, what is that, the lilies, or the lilies. And it's still like a regular court card, you know. It's got a smaller Lenormand image on it. These are so great, aren't they great? Like there's the Rider, the Jack of Diamonds is also the Scythe, and the Queen of Diamonds is the Crossroads, or the Ways. And the Jack of Hearts is the Heart, And then you have the Ring, the Ace of Clubs. Here are his jokers, one male and one female, so these can also be like an extra man and woman card. And then he just has his own sort of interpretations of images associated with the meanings of the rest of the playing cards here. They don't correspond with like Sibilla or anything like that. There's the Fox. Some kind of obsessed with this deck. Also, I pulled this out. I wanted to show you. I thought this was so funny. When I found the Hermes playing card Oracle, I was like, okay, I can stop what I'm doing. I was literally I had a deck that I kind of did the same thing on without, you know, his beautiful artwork, of course. This is also, like, this is my Fox card. I have other playing cards. This is my learning deck. I wrote, like, Sibilla meanings and playing card meanings, and also put the Lenormand, trying to see if I could just figure the whole thing out and see how it was all interrelated, you know? And it was really fun to do, actually. There is a lot of overlap. What's that one? 2, that's not a Lenormand card, sorry. This one is, however, this is the Mountain. Next, Mice, you know, you get the idea. And then this is another deck that I use for playing card divination. That's just plain, doesn't have anything written on it. I chose those cards because I wanted something that was a little bit more papery, not quite as plasticky, and didn't look like a regular poker deck, you know. Next up, we have my 2 Sibilla decks. I am very interested in getting my hands on some other Sibilla decks, though. But this is the Vera Sibilla, or the La Vera Sibilla, or also known as the Everyday Oracle. And this is a Lo Scarabeo. So these all have the card names. Are these all in order? Yeah, these are all in order right now. Have the card names in Italian at the bottom. I believe, right? That is Italian? Yes. And then they also have the playing card association is up here, actually. That's what that is. The F is for Fiori, which is the clubs in Italian, and then the number is over there. So they're all like that. You have Quadri is the diamonds. That's the C. This is Piece. I'm sorry, I cannot pronounce this very well. That's your spades. Yeah, it's a beautiful 19th century deck. 19th century. But reading and learning Sibilla has been very, very fun. Really enjoy it. It has these super, like, down-to-earth, you know, very grounded, very kind of folksy meanings almost. But you can get a lot deeper with it, especially with your understanding of the tarot and other systems. Even your Lenormand comes in handy. This is the Sibilla Zingara, also known as the Gypsy Oracle cards, another Lo Scarabeo one. This one looks more Lo Scarabeo because it has the other languages at the bottom that you're sort of familiar with from their tarot cards, right? I actually don't mind that at all in this deck. It does have the English name of the card up top. But because for sort of learning purposes, it's nice to have the name of the card in other languages down here, because that's often how you see it in a lot of decks. You know, it's actually written out on there. And then this one doesn't actually have the playing card association on it. And this was the first Sibilla that I ever purchased, so I went ahead and put, you see my writing on them. I know I wrote on my cards, that's crazy. But I just wrote the playing card correspondency on there, playing card association. So the images are super, super similar to the Vera Sibilla. Just drawn differently, different style. that is the Sibilla Zingara. Also, the Sibillas have really been fun to play around with during my tarot readings. You know, you lay them out to elaborate on a card or to get a little bit more information about a certain card, or even for summarizing an entire tarot card reading. I've really had a lot of fun working with the Sibilla and the tarot together. Also, I did go ahead and edge both of my Sibillas because they both have black borders around the front and around the back. This deck I haven't seen very often. I haven't seen too much out there with the black borders. I don't know if that's a newer thing from the last couple of years, or if it's because I ordered this deck from Europe. Usually it has like a white border and a very different backing, at least from what I've seen online. Next up, we have my two favorite oracle decks. These are both by Cheryl Yambrock Rose. And this is the Art Through the Eyes of the Soul Oracle. Next is the Art Through the Starstream Oracle, that guy down there. I have heard that you or other people have been able to combine these two decks into one awesome deck. However, maybe it's because this is a much older version of the cards, this one. It's just ever so slightly smaller, my Art Through the Eyes of the Soul. So I can't actually, like, combine them, unfortunately. Let me know if you guys have both of these. If you were able to, I might go ahead and get a newer version of this then at some point, so I can do that. But these are fairly large cards. They both have gold gilded edges. And the artwork on these cards blows my mind. They're so beautiful. She started with their eyes, so their eyes are the focal point in every single card. This one says, shifts happen, stabilize your energy fields. Oh my god. They are very... Oh god, what's the word? They're like, they just cover a wide range of like New Age beliefs and theories and things like that. It has like ascended masters and UFOs even, and portals and other dimensions and Lemuria and Atlantis and Avalon. She has cards that delve into myth and legends and fairy tales and the supernatural and references to like Sirius and deities and channeled entities. Here's one of Artemis. Defend what is dear to you. So I really like to do like daily draws with this deck, and you know, a way to sort of close a tarot reading too. A one card draw at the end of that. You are cherished and protected. Oh my god, I want to show you guys like every single card in this deck. But I will stop there. Beautiful. And I'll show you guys a few from this one. It's still very similarly done. It has a different border, but it looks very similar. This one says, Gaia needs you. Act from your crown and your heart. They're also, these cards are very positive. There's really nothing negative. They're almost affirmation cards. St. Francis. This is one of my favorite cards. You are immortal. Make your decisions carefully. You know, you do a morning draw, and that is your message of the day. Come on, you're having a good day. Hopi Kachina dance. Disconnect. Go underground for a while. She also has a book that comes with each of these decks that explains a lot more about the imagery and the cards. Like this one I remember, what does it say? You are not alone in the universe. And she has if I remember correctly, a story in the book about how astronauts on the space shuttle or something like that would look out the window, and they said that they could see these like red angels or something like that. So she painted that. Beautiful. The Knights Templar. Be firm in your resolve. Commit. Ah, love. Art Through the Starstream, that is. Next up is a deck that, Jesus, I've had for like ever. This is the Druid Animal Oracle with the giant cards. But they're beautiful. It's an animal deck, and it's all animals that would have been like familiar to the Druids from Britain. It's a Will Worthington deck. He's done some tarot decks. Beautiful artwork. This is one of my favorite cards. I love the bull. So it's all animals, and then there also are, there they are, 4 elemental dragon cards. Like that's fire, and the air dragon, the earth dragon, and the water dragon. I think they're just too cool. That is the Druid Animal Oracle. This next deck I use in a very similar way to how I use both of Cheryl Rose's decks, like a 1-card draw at the end of a tarot reading. It works very well for that. Certain people I just, you just can't go for like UFO themed cards with, But this is the Fool's Wisdom, or the Fool's Wisdom Oracle cards by Sonia Choquette. And aren't they adorable? And each card has a fool on it, so it fits in with your tarot theme. And the artwork is beautiful. There is a name for each card at the top. This one is the Playful, and each one is sort of a little, like a pun, actually, like playful, playful. And the wisdom at the bottom of this card is have fun and be playful. So they're actually, they're mostly positive cards, but I feel like they're also very constructive cards. This one is the Wish Fool. Believe in your own heartfelt wishes. How cute is little dog. I think the color palette and they're very like, they're sweet, they're universal. You can use these cards with anybody, The Skillful. Always do your best. The Thoughtful. Always think before you act. There is also a fantastic guidebook that comes with this deck. It's like a full-size book and gives great explanations of the cards. So these next 2 decks are decks that I personally pretty much only use for like building my intuition and working on accessing my psychic abilities. I call it third eye practice sessions. So first up we have a deck called Soul Cards. And this is sort of Soul Cards 1. This is not, she does have another deck out called Soul Cards 2. And she is, what's her name? Deborah Koff Chapin is the name of the woman who did these cards. That's the backs, and oh my god, aren't they beautiful? They are all watercolors. Now, there are no meanings assigned to these cards. You can create your own meanings, your own defined set of meanings for each card, if you choose to do so. Or you can use them how I use them, which is where like the meanings will change every single time that I look at these cards. Yeah, but there's no meanings, there's no names on the cards, no titles, no numbers, no courts, no suits, nothing like that. Just the image. Don't these sort of have like a shamanic, almost a shape-shifty sort of feel to them? You have a reaction when you look at these cards, which is why they work so well for just using them to help build your intuition, You have like a visceral, emotional reaction when you look at these cards. Beautiful. And the next one is the John Waterhouse Oracle. You can pick out whatever backs you'd like on these cards. I got these from Etsy. Her shop is Tarot by 7. I just love that backing. It's the same backing I have on my Solabusca Tarot. Anyway, these are all obviously John Waterhouse paintings. So they are beautiful. This is also an 80 card deck. So you could like pick and choose what you want to be in your deck. I left all the cards together. I think they're all beautiful. By the way, the Soul cards is a 60 card deck, which you could of course do the same thing with. But this deck feels super different than Soul cards does. This one has more of a romantic, classic sort of feel to it. And, you know, his paintings are so famous, you like instantly recognize over half of these images. At least I did. Especially in the pagan community, right? We kind of like love his artwork. There's a lot of like witchy feeling images. But yeah, it's sort of the same thing, the same idea of soul cards, where there's no meanings assigned. You could assign your own. There's no suits or majors or minors or anything like that. Just a scene. Next up is a personal favorite of mine. This is the Astro Mythological Lenormand, also known as the Grand Jeu Lenormand. It is very different, however, from your Petite Lenormand. This is the extra male and female consultant cards that come with. It is a 52 card deck. And, oh, where to start with this? There is so much information packed into these cards. It's sort of separated out into, what is it, like 5 different sections based on what is in the big picture right here. So this one actually comes from a group of cards that is about like Jason and the Argonauts. This is an old deck, by the way. Shoot, I am actually not sure when these like originally came out. But anyway, that is based on Jason the Argonauts. That is like Jason getting a potion from Medea. But also on these cards, you do have a lot of other information. You have these 2 on both corners of the cards is really important too. There's little scenes depicted down there. You have a playing card correspondency or association up there. You have a, not a zodiac, a constellation, a letter, and like a geomantic symbol below the letter there too. There's also a different flower depicted on each card. I haven't delved too much into the flower part of things or the constellations, but everything else has been really fun to play with. You read these a little bit. There's sort of a unique way to read them, where you could lay out like 3 cards, and you'll have the big picture here. This is Virgo, actually. This card. This comes from a grouping of 12 cards that are related to the signs of the zodiac. But yeah, so you'd have 3 cards, you'd have a big picture, and then because of the 2 cards next to it would have like these corner images that would help you sort of clarify, or that those would be you know, read together, those 3 images. It's really fun to play with. I cannot recommend this deck highly enough. I will put out a video about how I read with it. This is part of the hazards, like the hazard cards. Though look out, whoa, there's an alligator. That is a mongoose actually willingly crawling into a sleeping alligator's mouth. Yep, that's happening. Anyway, the Grand Jeu Lenormand. Beautiful backs on those cards too, aren't they pretty? Next we have a deck, a beautiful deck that I've probably had for, God, probably like 15 years. This is an oldie. This is the Sacred Geometry Oracle by Francine Hart. Get a load of that! So I never actually really read with these cards. You absolutely could. There's a book that comes with this deck that gives like divinatory meanings for the cards, but I just never took to using them in that fashion. I really do use these cards though. They are there's always a card on my altar, and I mix that up all the time with this deck, and I use them for meditation. They have a wide range of sort of stuff on the cards. Like there's these, like that first one, like pencil drawings almost. It's like an angel teaching the flower of life. Oh my god. And then there's ones more like this. Like this is a Merkaba. A simple drawing of the flower of life. Oh, there's also like the platonic solids in there. That's a dodecahedron. Labyrinth. Chart Cathedral Labyrinth. Depiction of the Golden Spiral. And there's ones more like this, where they're like very artsy, very pretty, like paintings. It's like a yin-yang. And then super, super simple ones of Vesca Pisces. And even just a triangle. So for lovers of sacred geometry, this deck is, a must. These next two decks right here were both done by a man named Chuck Spezzano. He is a psychologist. And let's jump right in here. This is his newer deck from about 2006. The other one's from like 97, I think. That's an oldie. But this is called the Healing Cards, the Conspriracy deck. Which I know, that sounds like very strange, like it's going to be about like 9/11 or something, which don't get me started on, by the way. But what it really refers to, or what he means by conspiracy in this case, is just, you know, blockages almost caused by your ego or like personality patterns and things like that. So he has this deck separated out into the conspiracy cards. That's these guys. And then these three other colors that you see here, the green, the yellow, and the pink, are healing cards, gift cards, and the grace cards. But these are all sort of the positive healing cards. Both of these decks, by the way, do come with amazing guidebooks that really go into detail about how to use these cards. I don't do like regular readings with them, or I mean just what he sort of advises in the book, which is a little bit different. But I don't use these cards for other people like at all. I've just used them for my own personal development sort of thing, digging a little deeper. I'm going to show you some of the conspiracy cards here. This one's Inadequacy. The artwork on these is very pretty. The artwork in the other one actually is even prettier though. Abuse, addiction, anger. So it's all conspiracies are what he means for things like this. Neediness. You know, all the things you love about yourself. And then I'll just flip through randomly here. This is Commitment. This is a healing card. This is Honoring the Truth. And then a gift card, Intuition. Ooh, good one. Self-value. Resurrection. Destiny. Aren't they sweet? And that one's Sanctuary. Yeah, these are really neat decks. Both of these decks actually, I didn't buy for myself. They were a gift. I think I was meant to have them. They really have helped me a lot anyway. So this is, actually let me show you the backs here first. This deck is called the Enlightenment Pack, I think is what it's called. And they have these really cool designs in the backs. They're not all white like that, however. These are separated into, just like in the other deck, positive and negative cards. But he has sort of 6, almost suits, if you will. Pink, green, and white are the positive cards, I believe, and then blue, orange, and black are the, you know, the more negative cards. But I'll show you some of the artwork in here. It is just, gorgeous. This one is, these are the victim cards with the white, or sorry, black backs is the victim. That's fear, revenge, guilt. My shadows are all up on these cards, sorry. Aren't they pretty? Really cool artwork. Let me show you some of the more positive cards too. Here's one. Forgiveness. Letting go. Throw it in the hole. And trust. Yeah, I will make, I do plan to make videos, like I said, on all these decks, so I would love to go into more detail about how to use those cards. They're really interesting. Alright, on to the runes. I have 2 rune card decks. This one actually, I only have 24 cards. This is not sold as a 24 card deck. However, I have had this deck for so long that I have no idea what happened to the rest of it. But what this is from is something called the Runic Tarot, which is not a Nordic themed deck, but a Celtic themed deck, with like the 24 runes of the Elder Futhark, with Anglo-Saxon rune names, don't ask me why, on it. But yeah, it has 24 Elder Futhark, the 24 runes of the Elder Futhark sort of as the major arcana. And then the minors, if I remember correctly, were divided into 4 suits, but they were based on the 4 seasons. So there was like a suit that was like the Beltane suit. There was the Lunasa, the Imbolc, and the Samhain. Sort of a pagan seasonal Celtic deck with runes. Interesting combination. But anyway, I was in love with basically just the rune cards always, so I don't mind that I lost the rest of the deck. It's kind of neat that they are Celtic themed. Maybe that's a little Nordic looking, but you know. They have some like astrological associations. Very cute. That's the Runic Tarot. Or what's left of it. Next up is another deck that I got like back in the 90s. This is also a deck that I am so in love with that I could not use it for other people. This is my baby. He stays on my altar. That's where he lives. This is The Power of Runes is the name of this deck. It is a 25 card deck when you buy it. I only have the 24 here. It came with, I don't even have the extra card anymore actually to show you, but it came with an extra one called Yew, which is an Anglo-Saxon rune that they sort of threw into the mix here. Not really sure why they did that. I mean, that's a cool rune. It has to do with sort of spiritual evolution, even a little bit, or like piercing the veil. But anyway, we don't have that one. In front of you right now is the card for Hagalaz. And they have the rune at the bottom, and they have the name of the rune spelled out in runes at the top. What's on the sides here? Oh, the number of its order in the Futhark, and its English letter association over there too. But the thing that I love most about this deck is all the esoterica that they threw into it. And it's also very Norse, you know? Very Norse myths, you see that represented here. It kind of covers the full spectrum of the runes. Oh, look at that card. That's August. Beautiful. Just like a Valkyrie with her swan. Or her Hamminga. Manas. This deck is so beautiful. There's Odin and Ewas. I feel like I have to whisper the names of these cards. They're so like reverent. They're so special to me. Love this deck. And lastly, we have my runes, or some of my runes. I have a few other rune sets actually that I made myself that I am not going to show you because they are not very pretty. But first up we have, it actually came in this big when I got it. Unfortunately, I cannot tell you where I got it. I no longer remember. But this is my all-time favorite set of runes. I'm just going to pull out a few and sort of show you. I had them special ordered and made out of yew. That's right. These are runes right off the wood of the world tree. Aren't they just beautiful? There is nothing on the backs. Very simple. My yew runes. Next up is a set of runes that I got not too long ago, maybe a year or two ago, off of Etsy. Oh, I should show you the top of that. There it is. Off of Etsy. Her shop name is, I want to say, Alaska Laser Made. Laser, Alaska Laser Made. And I ordered this Elder Futhark rune set, and came in this beautiful, like, wood carved, laser engraved, whatever box. And oh, that's what it looks like. I really wanted a rune set where I could lay out all the runes face down and have, you know, something nice for people to look at, as opposed to my other set where there was nothing on the back. It's a very lightweight wood, but they're holding up really, really well. It's like a Celtic spiral on the backs of them. Beautiful. And this guy here is, I keep it in a little zebra bag, my Blue Tiger's Eye rune set. Can you see in there? It's kind of dark. I'll pull some out. But yeah, just your average sort of crystal rune set. I don't know, I fell in love with the Blue Tiger's Eye. I don't work with this one quite as much. I like the wood runes, or it's another one of my favorite rune sets. Keep them in this bag that I made when I was a teenager, I think. But these runes are on seeds. Big ol' seeds. My ring is stuck. Come here. That's what they look like. How cool is that? What's that, manas? They're like a hefty seed. I've had these for so long too. I don't remember like what kind of seed this is. If anybody knows, let me know. I would like to know what that Wunyo rune is living on. Anyway, those are my rune sets and my oracles, and this has been really fun. Thanks for watching, guys. It was really, it was cool to share my collection with you. I have loved watching other people's collection videos like this on YouTube. I like, some of my favorite videos are just when you see the pure joy people have as they go through and share their collection and their love for tarot. So that's all, folks. Ta-da! We made it through the entire collection. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.